Welcome back. Today is World Restart a Heart Day. John Giard is a board member of the Midlands American Heart Association and recently had a health scare. Well, John collapsed during his daily run.
Yeah, the person who found him happened to be a nurse who knew CPR. Now that day has totally renewed his perspective of why he's on the board. Well, John is joining us this morning along with Ashlyn Beige, the nurse who saved his life. Good morning to you both. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having us.
So John, let's start with you. Take us back to that day. You were on a run.
I was. That same run I've done every day for probably 15 plus years.
Wow.
It was St. Patrick's Day morning, so March 17th, went out for my daily run. At the end of the run, felt a little lightheaded. Just kind of stopped for a second. The world went black, and luckily, Ashlyn was there. I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
Wow.
Ashlyn being at the right place at the right time. Talk about, the moment that you had to save John and what that was like for you.
Yeah, I am a nurse, so it felt quite different from it being inside of the hospital. It was quite nerve-wracking. There was another mom there who fortunately waved me down, Emily, and let me know that John was having a medical emergency. I think that we were really lucky that there were a lot of people there who helped. I started CPR immediately, pretty much. And I did maybe about 40 to 60 compressions, and John came back. And then while I was doing that, someone ran to grab an AED, which is fabulous that my son's school had it. And then the ambulance showed up, and here we are.
Just earlier this morning, we were talking about, former quarterback, Gamecock quarterback Connor Shaw, making an initiative now with the recent health scare that he had about having AEDs available. John, you've been on the board here. How has this changed your perspective after this happened to you?
I don't know if it's changed my perspective as much as it's actually reinforced my perspective.
Right.
Literally 30 days before this event, I was at the State House advocating to ensure that we had AEDs in our school and that the schools knew where they were and people were trained to use them. So it really shows that it can happen to anyone. If anything, it's open my, so from an AED standpoint, it hasn't changed my perspective. I really understand the importance of CPR at this point, though. I was lucky enough to have Ashlyn, a nurse and that trained, but that doesn't necessarily happen in normally. So there's many people that can understand CPR. It will benefit you at some point, and don't be afraid to use it. I'm here today because Ashlyn wasn't afraid to use her training, and it's important stuff.
And then Ashlyn, just go a little bit deeper into just the importance of knowing CPR, what to do in that moment when you may have to perform it.
Yeah, I think we were talking about this earlier. I think it can be a little scary, of course. I think at least one person in every household should be trained in CPR. Again, John is very fit, very active, and it happened to him just out on a run on the street. I think I would say don't be afraid to do it. I performed hands-only CPR, which is the new initiative out for the community, and it worked, and he's here. So I would say don't be afraid to use it. The person will let you know, and John popped right back up and let me know that he was doing okay.
Well, we are so glad, John, that you are okay, and Ashlyn, that you were in the right place at the right time. John, just share a little bit more about your experience with American Heart Association and how those resources are so beneficial for our community.
Sure. I've been involved with the American Heart Association probably for over 20 years. Got involved simply because there was a bit of history of that in my family, and so I got involved that way, as well as the history of my own. So I've been working with them, heart.org. I would tell anybody, go to heart.org. It tells you all of the benefits and all the things that a heart association brings to this world. And there's a lot of people on earth today that wouldn't have been here 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, if it wasn't for the work of the American Heart Association. So definitely check them out.
Yeah, it's definitely very important, and we want to make sure that our viewers are up to date on all of CPR information. So, of course, we'll have all that information available for you with this story at WISTV.com. There's some tips there on your screen. And as John just mentioned, heart.org is the website you can go to learn CPR. American Heart Association has so many amazing resources that we all could use here in our community. So thank you so much, John and Ashlyn, for stopping by this morning, sharing that story. And again, so glad that you're here and you're able to spread this message.
Thank you
for
very much.
having us.
Again, World Restart a Heart Day is today, so make sure that you can learn something new, right?
Absolutely. Stay with us. We got more Sunrise after the